Good morning. Today's lesson is on ellipses. So let's talk about what an ellipse is. An ellipse kind of looks like an oval, but what we need to know about an ellipse is we need to know the center. So on this ellipse, we have a center of 0, 0. And then we need to determine which is our major axis. If our major axis is along the x-axis, then it is longer along the x-axis. So it's stretched out longer. So we would have an equation that has a center of 0, 0. It has foci at negative C and C and vertices at negative A and A. So here you can see in the picture, we have our vertices here at negative A and A. Here you can see our foci at negative C and C. The general equation is x squared over A plus y squared over B equals 1. Okay. Where A is bigger than B, which is bigger than 0. And then this is how we would come up with, say, our B value if we were missing that, or our C value. Now, our A value is the distance from the center to the vertice. Our B value is the distance from the center to the vertice on the what we call the minor axis. And so that is important to see. Now, this equation, though, only works with the major axis as the x-axis. So our major axis is the x-axis. So that's what this equation is for. What if our major axis is the y-axis? And so this is what's going on here. Notice what happens is our A value, which comes from your major axis, is now under the y, and your minor axis, which is where the B value comes from, is now under the x. Notice that the stipulations here are still the same. Your foci now, though, are on the y-axis and not on the x-axis. So what are we going to do with this? Okay. So if we have, it says find the vertices for the major and minor axis and the focus using the equations of an ellipse. So if this is our equation, you can see here that this value is larger than the 9. Therefore, we know its major axis is along the x-axis. So really what we do is we take the square root of that value, which gives us A is plus or minus 5. So those are those values that you're seeing right here. So those are our vertices. The vertices on our minor axis, we're just taking the square root of the 9, which gives us plus or minus 3, which is giving us those vertices on our minor axis. To come up with our foci, we are doing our equation. Notice that it is kind of rearranged. We're trying to find C. So we have C squared equals A squared minus B squared. Solve that, and we get our foci to be negative 4 and positive 4. So from an equation, we should be able to determine what is our major axis, what are our vertices on the major axis, and what are our vertices on the minor axis. What if it's not in that form? Well, if it's given like this, we always want it equal to 1. So if we divide everything by 36, then we get another equation that looks similar to what we dealt with earlier. Again, you can see that 9 is bigger than 4, so our major axis is along the x-axis. Take the square root of 9, then that's going to give us our vertices on the x-axis. The square root of 4 is going to give us our vertices on the minor axis. Again, to find our foci, we are going to use the formula C squared equals A squared minus B squared. And we find that our foci are negative square root of 5 and positive square root of 5. I hope that helps you and gives you a little introduction of what you will need for ellipses. If you need any extra help, please make sure you send me an email or a text. Have a great day.